Hey, welcome back. I haven't talked about TV and stuff, so I should probably do that. I watched the Queen's Gambit. That was like 2 weeks ago, but I have a note and I never read it, so. Um, I liked it. I mean, it's as good as anything else on TV. I don't know. I'm watching The West Wing on Netflix, and I do miss those kind of shows where you just spend time with the characters. Like, they had to do 20 episodes every season, and you just like, some episodes are terrible, and the average episode quality isn't as good as like a Queen's Gambit, where every episode is well produced and they have months to make it and millions of dollars. But I do miss like West Wing and Lost, like these shows where you can just kind of like spend time with the characters, I guess. Queen's Gambit's 5 episodes or something. It's over. Queen's Gambit is really interesting. It plays like a documentary, and I was kind of disappointed that this Beth Harmon person doesn't exist. So the show is about this girl's like a chess prodigy in the 1960s. And so when you hear that, the first trope you think, this show avoids a lot of tropes. But in doing so, it's a little bit boring. It's like nothing really happens. She's just like playing chess and being good at it, and nothing. There's not a lot of conflict because they're trying to avoid these tropes that you see. And so like, okay, you imagine a girl playing chess in the 60s. You'd think, oh, everybody's gonna be telling her like, you can't do this. Girls don't do this. There's like maybe one person who's like, oh, you're a girl and you're playing chess? That's kind of weird. But she's just really good at it, so nobody cares. Like, she has this teacher at the school, and he's an old guy, and he's like, oh, she's really good, so I'm gonna keep teaching her, because I don't care that she's a girl. And she's an orphan, and she gets adopted, and you think, like, oh, are her parents gonna be, like, really mean to her, like, that's a trope. Like, she gets adopted and like these people hate her and they won't let her play chess, and she has to kind of figure out how to by herself. Like, she has to hide and lie to them and sneak around. But that doesn't happen. The dad is kind of a jerk, but then like he gets arrested or something and he's just gone. So it's just her and her mom. And her mom is like, I like the mom character. She's interesting. I don't know. She doesn't really fall into any of the tropes of like a 60s housewife. She's well. The interesting thing about her character is like, well, she's a typical 60s housewife, where it's like she takes care of the house, she cooks, and there's a scene where like the husband comes home early and she's not dressed, and she like runs upstairs, and so when the husband leaves, the wife doesn't really know what to do, so she's just like kind of watching TV and eating and stuff and drinking, or and so when the main character Beth starts doing good at chess, it makes her happy because she's like, oh, you're making money doing this. That's good. I need money. So it's an interesting. I don't know. It's not a cliche, but that's, I think I like that relationship probably the best in the show. It's the most interesting. I don't know. The main character is like distractingly good looking. um I don't like, she's like, I don't know, she looks like a doll. She's like so symmetrical, and her face is like, her skin is like I don't know. I don't like that. It's distracting. I just want to watch the show. I don't want to be thinking, like, when I'm watching it, like, look at how symmetrical this person's face is. I'm just, like, distracted by her hair is so perfect. I don't like that. And it's weird how the main character, I don't know, she doesn't really act at all in the whole movie. She's, she doesn't have any scenes where she's like, where I'm like, oh wow, that's really good acting, or like those were good lines. She did it. It almost seems like she never even talks on the whole show. She's just kind of like this weird bystander who's like really motivated to play chess, and that's all she cares about. And she's just like, anytime anybody talks to her, she's like thinking about chess. Another trope that the show could fall into. There's a scene where she's at a party with a bunch of girls and she doesn't fit in. They could hit on that more, like how she's like this tortured genius and she can't fit in with the other girls. They like music and boys, and she just likes chess. They don't really play that up too much. There's like one scene, and then there's a scene later with one of the popular girls. Like she's out of high school. She's in high school when they are in this like sleepover, and she's like forced to go to the sleepover with this girl. And she doesn't like it, and they're talking about like boys and stuff, and she doesn't want to. And then she meets that girl later, and it's obvious that she's like having kind of a hard time. Like she has a kid and she's really young, and there's a shot of, she has like beer in her or like wine in her shopping cart, and she's like trying to hide it. So obviously she's not very happy. It's kind of a funny scene. Did I get a star? I like it when they have a cutscene where they just talk and I can just talk over it. I know the dialogue is good in this game. It's funny and stuff, but whatever. I've already seen it, so you can enjoy it. And you can ignore me. So they avoid that trope. And I hate that trope, because it's like, oh boohoo, you're a genius. So you can't fit in with other people, but you're a genius. You can play chess like better than anybody in the world. Like, I'm not gonna feel sorry for you just because you're a little awkward around people your age. I have the awkwardness, but without the genius. So it's like, oh boohoo. It's hard for me to care like that. It's hard. They always try to make the character likable. Like I was talking about Easy A last week. They try to make her smart because smart characters are likable. But if you make a character too smart, then they're not relatable. I don't know. Dear Evan Hansen always comes to mind because I feel like they thread that needle kind of perfectly. They never say in that show, like, Evan is a genius. I really like the ending of that play, because the last scene is Evan talking to the girl, and he's like, the arc is, his big triumphant moment at the end is like, he doesn't get everything he wants. That's not the point of the play. He at the end of the play, he's working at a grocery store and he's saving up to go to college. That's the big accomplishment. Like, that's a big deal for him. That's the cool part. Is like, I don't know, but I've talked about that before in a different episode. What am I doing? What am I doing? Now, where do I get the 4th star? Am I over? I think I have 4 minutes left. Do I? Yeah, okay. I can keep talking about the Queen's Gambit. Yeah. I guess, yeah, like, Dear Evan Hansen, the stakes are very personal, and they're not crazy like in the Queen's Gambit. The stakes are like, the last episode she's trying to beat the Russian Grandmaster at chess. It's like this biggest event in the world. But I did like it. It's fun. It reminded me of like a sport movie where it's like it's a modern kind of take on a sports movie. I don't know. You can't really do sports movies. Are kind of boring. I don't know. Creed was okay, but they always fall into the problem of like, you know what's gonna happen? They're gonna win at the end, or they're gonna lose, and that's gonna be like the big thing. Oh, he actually lost, but it wasn't about winning or losing because it was about the friends he made along the way or whatever. Like Rocky. So you can only do 2 versions of that. The one where they win and the one where they lose. But the Queen's Gambit isn't really about her winning or losing. So by the time you get to the end and she wins, spoiler, you're like, oh, you get that feeling of like watching the end of Hoosiers or something where the team wins and you're like, they won. Burr, 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 burr. I don't know. I still get I watch the ending of Hoosiers and I get chills like, oh, they won. I don't know why, but it's dumb. You can't make a movie like that, I don't know, anymore. Because it's like, oh, it's stupid. It's like fake. Obviously they're going to win because it's a movie. Burr, 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 burr. Jerry Goldsmith. I like that music. I don't know where I'm going. Burr, 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 burr. Burr, 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 burr. Boo, 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 boo. Maybe I should go back to Dostoevsky. Boo, boo, boo. Maybe if I can remember, I'll play the end of Hoosiers to end this episode. To get you excited about, I don't know, nothing. I guess I have to end there. I know if I watched Hoosiers today for the first time, I wouldn't like it. But I have like this connection to it. I think it's my dad's favorite movie too, so that probably helps. Let's watch the end. Okay. I don't know if I played that, but I don't know. I guess I am curious if you just watch that out of context and you never seen the movie and you're older like me, would that make you feel happy? It makes me feel happy. I'm sure it's mostly just the connection to the movie and like my dad and stuff. It's good. I mean, it's directed well. That's something like I don't know. That last shot of the camera like behind Jimmy Chitwood, and you can see the crowd behind it. It's a good, I don't know, it's cool. It's exciting. See you tomorrow.